Hello, viewers. Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Talking Parra podcast. One day late, we know, but that's okay. Episode number 25, I think it is. 26, maybe. I'm not too sure. I can't keep track these days. These times.
We've got it called the semi-final edition.
It's a special semi-final edition, week 2 finals edition, semi-final edition. Joining the panel tonight, we've got Matty Tate from Tate Sports Cards. We've got Hayden from the Entertain House, who does these great visual presentations of the podcast each week. And we have I've got myself from the Parra podcast, Troy. And we've also got our gracious host, Adam. And Adam, can you please explain why we are a day late?
Yeah, so 1 day late. Had to go to Moulin Rouge last night, so
right. Okay,
getting your you guys want a review of Moulin Rouge? Look, I do recommend it. A bit different to the movie. I could give you a full hour of podcasting of telling you why, but we won't. But look, first of all, welcome to all the Parra fans. To all the Parra fans we met last week, made some new friends. It was great to see you out there. And I'd like to also welcome all the Parra fans that after Monday morning now identify as robots. If you're out there, give us a shout out. I'm starting to doubt myself, guys. You use robots? I got asked that many times if I was a freaking robot. I don't even know anymore. So look, Ticketek, mate, you're the biggest ticket company in Australia. What are you peanuts thinking putting NRL Grand Final, AFL Grand Final, and Luke Combs? Who would have thought country music would be so popular in 2022?
Shout out to Jamie Murray if she's listening. Massive fan of Luke Combs.
Man, I think
and Dean Witters as well.
She's a fan of Dean Witters, or Dean Witters is a fan of Luke
Combs? Dean Witters is a fan of Luke Combs.
Okay, good. Right, wonderful. I was a fan of Dean Witters, but anyway. Look, yeah, Luke Combs, mate, what were they thinking putting that all at the same time? But what's done is done. We got our tickets. We'll be there Friday for a huge game. Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. No, I'm not quoting Sound of Music again, but let's go. Friday night. Obviously, a 27-8 loss in the end. Disappointing. I've felt more disappointment, to be honest. I actually wasn't that disappointed. As for week 1 losses, look, we've obviously experienced a few now. 2017, 2020, obviously 2019 we won, and 2021 we won. But week 1 losses as they go, that one probably hurt the least. Melbourne in 2017 was obviously, we've spoken about that in depth lately. And the 2021 was one of those games where a lot of things didn't go away. I actually believe we're in this game up until Moses got hurt. Look, there's no doubt that Wonga had a bit of a shocker, had a bit of a Paul Carriage semi-final game. As was said around me, it happens. It's footy. He's done it 2 times this year. If he'd done it consistently every week, he probably wouldn't be playing in the team this week. There's no doubt about that. We've seen him named, and that's footy. He'll be practicing. He will get targeted. Canberra don't have the ability. And look, it comes down a bit of the kick pressure as well. The kick pressure was non-existent at times. But I watched back that game. It took me a couple of days to watch it back because of the busy life I live and the fact I had Silly Sunday and Mad Monday and everything else. I didn't get home to 4 p.m. on Monday afternoon after going out on Sunday morning. But sorry, I've still got a chest infection too, guys. So I'm really, really battling here. And I'm struggling. Everything's falling apart. I'm going downhill fast. Anyway, what I was saying was I watched the game back. Their first try was off error. Their second try was off error. And then obviously the game changed when Moses went off. Their second try, I believe they were pretty lucky as well. They said Reid wasn't square at marker when he hit the ball down and gave him 6 again for that, which I thought was a bit of a rubbish call. And then I think the shock of Moses going off, the boys probably realised how hard it was going to be, started thinking about attack instead of defence, and they scored those 2 pretty quick tries that pretty much ended the game. The positive for me is we didn't exert ourselves. You know, like we think back to those 2017 and 2020 games, they were games that went down to the wire and we were unable to back up the week after. This game, we didn't exert ourselves. We just went out there. We knew the game was gone. We can finish completing our sets and we got on with the game. Obviously, Penrith were the better team on the day. Clearly put on a bit of a masterclass, and that can be footy. Yeah, I'll go to Matt, you first. Your thoughts on that game, obviously?
Yeah, it was a good game until, obviously, Moses went off. But, yeah, it was to me, I'm positive about it, even though I copped a lot about it. But just the boys' body language after the game too, where we've seen them after a club game loss and how they've been and stuff like that. But the positivity and the energy that they were showing to the fans after that game, I feel like there was a few dodgy calls both ways. I feel like there was one where it could have been reviewed. I don't know. I haven't watched it back. I'm still not 100% in watching it back. But their first try, I feel like maybe Jerome might have got a fingertip to that ball and knocked it
I
on.
thought he did too. Yeah, I called it live that he had, and it never got reviewed.
So yeah, and even looking at that too, I think the Wonga was originally a knockback as well on one of them. But yeah, I just feel like the boys were in it, and once Mitch went off, there was a bit where Mitch went off, we kind of all just in the supporters bay was like, oh no. And then when Jake come on, you saw Cleary look over at Jerome and smirk, and then Jerome look at kick out and point straight at Jacob. So they knew instantly, but just some of the tries, it was just literally spread the ball. The second try, I feel like if Guffo gets a better grip, he takes him into touch. But yeah, it was a good first semi-final crowd. I think it was majority of blue and gold, which was good to see. And yeah, move on to next week, as the boys said, reset and see us all next week.
Yeah, just on that, Moses, quickly, I want to give Moses a rap for the job he did on kick out all night. He got one wrong, but defensively, his confidence is high. So my biggest thing is I hope this doesn't affect his defensive confidence, because we see when Mitch is solid in defence, his attack flows. And we know he's had his troubles in defence over the years. And I'll quickly touch on too Jacob Arthur, because I'm just going to put this out there. I'm going to be as blunt as I can. We've got some fucking stupid fans that decided to blame him for the loss.
Yeah.
Jacob to come on in that situation, I actually didn't think he was bad. Look, he did one bad kick, then he knocked a ball down a short side raid that was probably never on, which kind of come on Reed to jump down. I didn't think our short side raids were on all night. They read him, but he threw a nice pass for that original break, and he just did what he had to do. The game was gone by the time he actually got on the field, in my opinion. So, Hayden, you next. Your thoughts on the game, crowd?
Yeah, good crowd. Decent game for the most part. I thought from the kickoff, I thought honestly our speed around the ruck and our play the ball speed was not up to pace. Look, I think Reed's been really hot and cold for me this year, and I really expect a big game from him this week. I thought the forwards were trying to lay a bit of a platform, but were getting shut down by Penrith, whether it be tackles from outside backs or just their forwards in Fisher Harris and Leota matching. But I'll tell you what, that first 10 minutes where, look, obviously there was the penalty to Isaiah Papali'i, which gave us the lead. That first 10 minutes, the second half, it was some of the best footy I've seen us play all year. We're keeping them down our own end. We had these energetic forwards in Murata Niokore obviously starting, but you had Oregon Gafusi and Makatoa was towards the end. But I really thought our forwards in that 10-minute period, keeping them back, keeping them in their own end. We blew a few opportunities, which was disappointing. And look, I think you could say we were probably out of the game when Moses went off, but I actually disagree. I think up until that Sivo no try moment is where the game really changed for me. If Sivo scored that try in the corner, you gain a bit of momentum. Who knows what happens, even with our backup half on the field there. I thought we had a really good opportunity, just couldn't execute it. And yeah, I think we respond on Friday, but I still think there's a lot to work on.
Yeah, wonderful, Troy.
Yeah, well, let me just start off by saying shout out to the Penrith fan who gave me a bit of abuse walking home from the stadium on Friday night.
Should have got a lift with Guffo.
Yeah, I should have. I
did a knock on his window.
Yeah, he beat me at the lights. So anyway, yeah, he said, "Oh, geez, it's a long walk back to Parramatta and in the rain." It's like, "Oh, mate, I only live 5 minutes away." But anyway, so yeah, shout out to him. But look, it was 60 minutes. You guys have all covered it.
Can we go back? Can you just do that conversation and say how he actually said it in Penrith for us?
No, well, I haven't had 7, 8, 10 cans, so
Oh, okay.
I can't really
Continue then.
go that way. Anyway,
Look, we'll touch on the Penrith fans after. So let's get back to the game. We've got plenty of time to talk about Penrith fans.
Yeah, so you guys have all covered it. It was pretty much an even ball game up until Mitchell went off, 60 minutes gone. It showed you that Mitchell Moses went for that field goal attempt before half time. He missed, and then it showed you there was a bit of conjecture, or not conjecture, but a thought from different people about why Nathan went for his field goal, whether it was, okay, that was the right thing that Mitchell did, or whether I'm just going to show you. Yeah. I'm just going to show you that I can.
It was the right play. I'm sitting in the grandstand saying, if we don't score here, we need to kick a field goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's semi-final game, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. You want to get into the lead. And then we got the penalty, 8-7. Look, Wonga Blake, yeah, he did have a shocker. But, any winger could have a shocker in those circumstances. But it's not entirely his fault. There just simply wasn't any kick pressure. We didn't see any tackles on Nathan whilst he was kicking the ball or anything like that. So definitely that's something that will be worked on they've worked on this week with their last training run tonight, captain's run. So they've obviously worked on that one. And yeah, I just think, it was entirely up for grabs until that moment. But look, it was a pretty fair effort. As you said, Adam, you can't blame Jacob for his mistakes either. Pressure cooker situation, 21,500 Penrith fans, or at the ground, sorry. And I think having the same team week in, week out is a good thing, especially this time of year. Sure, there is a massive debate about whether Jacob should be on the bench. Do you bring in a Nathan Brown? Which we might touch on later. But look, it wasn't a bad night. I always love going to Penrith, watching the local game. And as you said at the top of the show, special shout out to the listeners and viewers who turned up to the Paceway on Friday night. So we pretty much took over that top level of the Paceway, and
the members bar. They weren't very happy, the members, because it was all eels.
Yeah, we had a really weird Penrith fan just walk up, go like this, looking everywhere, a bit confused, and then he starts getting out the phone, going, "Where are you?" That was pretty fun.
But yeah, shout out to those guys who turned up, and hopefully in the future, for future Penrith games, we can organise another or more get-togethers like that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get on to some of the key moments. I'm going to start with, obviously, the Talon May, who shouldn't have been playing, being sin-binned. Look, I thought we played poorly in that section of that game. Definitely a sin bin. But what I want to talk about is Spencer Liu, I believe it was, the penalty on Isaiah Papali'i.
Yeah.
It was worse. It was a worse shot. It was direct forceful shoulder, direct to the head.
Yeah.
Is that on a sin bin? Have you guys not seen that as a sin bin before?
Well, we saw about 7.
Well, we saw it on Sunday.
That's my point, exactly right.
Saw it on Sunday, but yeah, there was a lot of obviously we were all sitting together, us three, and you were up behind us. But I was saying to Matty, there was tackles there right in front of us where there was rubbish on the faces.
Yeah,
Matto
got an elbow to the back of the head, was on the ground,
and wasn't picked up. So.
Yeah, I thought the Isaiah one was a bit interesting. I have not obviously rewatched the game. I was just there kind of in the moment, but I thought it didn't look as bad while being at the game, and it looked like Isaiah was kind of getting up, but all the Parra fans, I could just hear them yelling, "Stay down, stay down, stay down," and that's when.
Oh, he definitely.
But I don't know. I guess I might have to rewatch that.
He definitely laid down, and I saw it live, and I thought it was worse. And the commentators actually said that's worse than the other one when you go back and watch the Fox League commentary. So I'm going to go back to my original point, though. Losing Will Penasini early absolutely screwed our rotation of how we've been working our forwards off the bench, and we lost that impact once again. So, look, it's great the flexibility that Murata can go to the centres, obviously, but having to bring Madison on, we saw Madison get driven back for his first 3 or 4 because he hasn't been making those starts in the last couple of weeks, those last 2 or 3 weeks. So, I think that kind of one of those things that affected us majorly as well and kind of screwed up our game plan. But I do want to talk about, I know we're going to get to the bench, but I want to talk about the rotation in our bench because for me, if Moses doesn't get hurt and that game's going down to the wire as a 4 or 5 point game, we only use 15 players. There's no way Makatoa comes on in a close game and Jacob Arthur doesn't come on unless Moses got hurt. So what do we do there? Like, I know the easy solution is to bring Nathan Brown in, who hasn't played a lot of footy, and we know there was some kind of falling out. But we don't really need to talk about this week's team much because it's the same team at the moment. What would you guys be doing? Nathan Brown in, Arthur out, Makatoa?
Yeah, I'd be putting Brown in because we need that aggression off the bench. I don't think Makatoa's that aggressive, like he could, as well as he could be. But yeah, definitely, I reckon Brown needs to be in there. If we've got a trophy to win at the end of the year, I don't give a shit what's happened off the field between BA and Brown. Like, it's a business. We have to get on with it. But yeah, definitely, even like a Cartwright, even when we played Penrith the first time.
How did I know you were I'm
bringing it up.
He's right.
Bringing it up.
It's
the first time we beat Penrith 22-20. Cartwright sat on the bench the whole time. He did not get used. And I think one other player come on in the last 10 minutes. But it was rough on Jake as well because there's Jake getting thrown into halfback the semi-final with 20 minutes to go when all week he's trained to play 10 minutes off the bench as a hooker to give Reed a breather in the back end. Like,
you got to do it. You had to bring him on.
Yeah, but you got to bring, like, I don't know. I'd be Brown's tuned for this kind of football. Like,
well, you saw him pacing up and down the sideline for 90% of the game.
Yeah,
and look, to be honest, he could have got on. Like, if we saw Lane go off for HIA, we saw Moses, we saw Penasini.
Yeah,
like he was we were close to having him actually come on the field.
Yeah,
and just destroy someone off the bench would have been fantastic. But I know it's an interesting one, and I think we all kind of went to the game expecting him to play. I know I did, and then the team was come to an hour before, and he wasn't there. So it's got to be strongly considered. Yeah,
I wouldn't be even surprised, or would probably like to see a Fiki Ogden get a run on the bench as well.
I just want to say anyone.
Yeah. A big body. Yeah, as big as Junior, as big as Reg.
Yeah, 100%.
It's got to. You're right. It's got to come down to size this week because that's where we're going to beat him, and that's where we beat him before Canberra. I have no doubt. I thought Junior was pretty average on Friday night. Wasn't one of his best games of the year. We know Junior loves to play against Canberra. Like Reg was quite solid. Reg likes to play against Penrith. So Junior will turn up playing against some of his best mates. There's no doubt. But I know, I think that rotation and just having that wasted bench player was just pointless. And the game was gone.
Only got 4 minutes.
But why not bring ice off or something? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It just sometimes you think he's getting it, then he doesn't get it. That's what the frustrating thing is. Anything else out of the game, Troy? You want to talk about your Penrith fans? You want to talk about the moments? And
can I just add Matty's man, Bryce Cartwright, that he mentioned? It's not just us that are really noticing it. Former player, I had a chat to Willie Mason after the Roosters Rabbitohs game about our bench rotation, and then he addressed it on his podcast as well with Scope, Justin Simi. And he was basically saying that bench should include that Bryce Cartwright. So it's not just Eels fans that are noticing those small moments where he comes on and he's had very limited game time, but he brings that whole effect. So I was pretty shocked to not see him on that bench, and obviously he's on the extended reserves.
Yeah. All right, Troy, do you want to add anything about the Penrith fans? Or you've been trending on Twitter?
Yeah, blowing up on Twitter. Massive blow up, but don't really want to go in too much into it. But some Penrith fans were pretty derogatory to some members of the crowd, even youngsters of the crowd. But you can have the banter. That's fair enough. You can wave bye to opposition supporters when they're down, leaving 10 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah. Before you move on from that, don't fucking leave is a simple solution to ignore that. I know
Yeah.
people got excuses. There's a bloke behind who was mouthing off all game, and it was one of those, like, everyone's got the fans that frustrate you no matter what team they support. The bloke thinks everything's against you in the world. And he goes, I've got to start work at 6 a.m, guys. I said, would you have been leaving if we were ahead by 20? And
Yeah,
he just walked
exactly.
off. I got no
Yeah,
phrase.
I mean, I don't think I've ever left a game, no matter how many points we're behind.
Yeah.
You
I had a
stay
4-hour trip home and I stayed because it was a 4-hour trip by the time I took everyone home.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's like the 1998 prelim final, isn't it? 18-2, 11 minutes to go, and then Canterbury come back to win. So you never know what's going to happen in 10 minutes. So, look, they can do that. But, yeah, to those fans who derogatory comments to youngsters and other fans as well, it's not on. There was a episode of I saw on Twitter, which I was trending last week. A little girl's flag got snapped in half by a Penrith fan. Stuff like that, it's not needed. It's not needed, and it's driven a lot of people, opposition fans, away from Penrith. And yeah, I mean, it's not the right thing to do. But anyway, that's last week, and
Yeah, it is. But
I just told them all that they won that game. But they
didn't win a grand final like I thought they had, did they? You would have thought that was a grand final the way they were carrying on. But I just want to say a message to Parramatta fans. If you see a fan carrying on like that, yeah, like you said, ban is one thing, but abusing kids, breaking kids' properties and being over the top, you'd like to think as Parra fans we could pull each other in. I know now I'm not afraid to say something. I don't care if it's an opposition fan or our fan. I'm not afraid to say something. That results in me getting punched in the jaw. It wouldn't be the first time being punched this year. So go ahead, go nuts. But it's just got to be better. On that note, we'll give a shout out to Ryan Madison for the work he's done and the work he obviously does do. Very approachable guy, and obviously, one of the situations closer to us where that happened, he was happy to jump on board and pretty much turn a kid's experience from being a negative one to a positive one. And that's all we'll say. Let's move on to this week. Very important game. Very, very important game for me and Hayden, because I'm not afraid to say this, but if they don't win, Hayden, we're going to Townsville anyway. How fun will that be? What are we going to Townsville?
A nice romantic holiday away together, guys. Enjoy.
Me, you, Dad. I believe Reese is coming as well. Is he?
Oh, no, just me, mate. I'll be coming up with you. Already booked. Yeah, one out here. But we'll get some seats together for sure. I don't want to be sitting around some.
The confidence, mate. The confidence.
That's okay. It's not.
That's good, but 1 week at a time.
Yeah. No, we're not going 1 week at a time. We're touching on this quickly because I paid $1,700 for 2 flights in a hotel. I looked this morning, and those flights were $1,700 each.
Oh yeah,
those same flights. And I was like, "Oh, thank God, Adam, you made the right choice." But look, I don't know what we're going to do, Hayden.
I paid $720 all up, but I did have a COVID voucher from COVID.
Apparently, just to say, boys, apparently someone was looking at flights 3 days before they announced the Townsville one, and the flights were $123 each way. 3 days before they announced the game was going to be in Townsville.
Look at Adam's face right now.
There's a lovely mountain. There's a lovely mountain.
I got on Saturday night. I got on Saturday as soon as the game was won. I was out on Saturday night, and I booked mine Sunday morning, and I started sending news messages on Saturday night. And I looked straight away, and they didn't get much. Like, I think they went up $30 or something from that thing. I'm happy. $500 each isn't too bad. I could probably go to Fiji for the same price, but find our next winger. But no, I didn't do that. We're going to Townsville, and either way,
Matty, I'll just say this. We'll just put the shout out. If there's any sponsors out there that would like to sponsor you and I to go up there.
Yeah, Flight Centre.
Yeah, that's right. If any sponsors, we're open to a ticket to Townsville.
Mate, it's only
but then you got to get tickets on Monday anyway.
Oh no, we'll get tickets. We'll be like, these are all getting on, and I am not a robot. All right, let's move on to this week's game. All right, Parramatta versus Canberra, Friday night. CommBank pretty much sold out, single seats, couple of seats here and there in the nosebleeds. Obviously going to be a huge game, huge test. Look, saying I'm nervous to play Ricky Stewart for the shit we've put on him for the last 8 years. Fun. It's going to be really bad if he beats us. Canberra, I think they played their grand final last week, is my opinion. I didn't think Melbourne were that wonderful. I thought Canberra were good in patches. I'm not worried. I think we'll beat them. I'm that confident we'll beat them. I've spent $1,700. So I might as well just
starting.
I might as well just put $1,700 to win this week, actually, just to try and double it up. But team's not changed, which is good because I haven't got a team list in front of me because my phone's out of battery. Like I said, we're kind of hoping to see that Nathan Brown inclusion or maybe an Ogden or something like that. I'll go to you first, Hayden. Where's the game won? Where's the game lost?
Yeah, look, it's going to be tough against the prop of the year, probably from Canberra Raiders, Joe Tarpanay. I remember when we played Canberra last time that Dylan Brown had a fantastic game. So, look, Moses has been named to play. We're still going through all that stuff. He's been cleared by independent doctor. Probably will play, but obviously if he doesn't play, then Brown and Gutho really do have to step up. But it's going to be a huge home crowd. So, yeah, I think for the loss would be in the forwards. You mentioned it last week that Junior was good, but it wasn't his best game all year. Like he was just kind of that do the job, not X factor last week. So really needs to step up, have a big game. I expect a big game from Isaiah Papali'i. I remember a huge game against the Raiders where he basically ran over the top of Josh Papali'i there's a nursery rhyme for the kids, over the top of him at Canberra.
Sing it for us.
No. Ran over the top of him last year. So, yeah, there's been those moments where Papali'i's really stood up against this Canberra side. You mentioned they've played their grand final. And, look, I tipped them to win against Melbourne 30-20. So, really close with that scoreline. But what I do want to say is Melbourne had so much possession in that game. Now, I think our attack is better than Melbourne, and we've obviously seen that throughout the year. We've been able to outscore them in all three games. But, yeah, I think they gave the Storm a lot of possession, and if they're doing that against us, I think we'll make them pay.
Do you want to give yourself a pat on the back before we finish? For you almost.
I mean, I was 2 points off, so
no, give yourself a pat. Give yourself a pat. All right. We haven't gone through our bold predictions, but I dare say we got nowhere near anyway. So,
no, actually, I think Hayden.
Yeah, mate, we'll come back to that, Troy.
Hayden,
Troy.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I? Wait, what?
I haven't got it in front of me.
We'll get back to it. Go.
Yeah, look, Hayden touched on it. It's going to be one in the forwards. Forwards battle. It's going to be really tough there. Another thought.
I think I know what Matty was talking about. It just came back.
Right.
Okay. Going, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you had another input about the game. But, yeah, look, by the time most people are probably listening to this or viewing this, will know if Mitchell's playing or not.
He's playing.
He'll play. Matty and I spoke to the doctor after the game.
First thing he said is, he'll play.
But he got reviewed by the specialist last night. And did he train today? I believe he trained today.
He had to get through tonight's
captain's run
and show no symptoms in the morning.
Well, that's pretty simple. He's going to say, "Are you okay, Mitchell?" "Yes, I'm okay."
Yeah.
Anyway, Troy, continue.
He'll put a thumbs up. We'll do the old Jake.
Yeah, I'm good. Go, Troy.
So obviously he's crucial to play. Need his kicking game there. I think just being back at home, it's just gonna a lot more confidence. Even for someone like young Jake, if he plays, but being back at home in front of 29,000 plus crowd, that'll give him a lot of confidence as well. And we all know what can happen at Combank. We can put points on. But I mean, you look at last week's game with Canberra and Melbourne. Two of their tries were off luck, to be honest. You saw the Falcon try, and also the try to Hudson Young as well, where Cameron Munster was anywhere but the football at the back there off a Jack White and kick. So, look, a couple of their tries
He was checking if he got the quaddy up, thanks to our kind folks at Sportsbet, and seeing if he got the results. Anyway, continue, Troy.
And, so, look, it's going to be tough there. I think we need to watch out for Jamal Fogarty as well. One of your favourite players, Adam, I think.
Parramatta legend. Absolute Parramatta legend.
He
will be. He is missed.
Yeah, well, he had a great game last week. Look, it's going to be good. we just need to get the start and roll from there and keep it going.
So pretty much what you're saying is we need to score more points in Canberra.
Well, if we do score more points in Canberra, we've got a good chance of winning the game. So
I think we've got a great chance, actually. Yeah, Matt.
Wrap the ball up. Don't let them offload. They're like us. They like to offload.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
That's simple to wrap. That's simple to wrap
the ball
done. All right.
No, we saw it last week. Their second phase play was outstanding. So, yeah, Tarpany and Papali'i will look to get those offloads. So, wrap the ball up, but we need to do more offloads. I feel like we didn't do enough offloads against Penrith to break their defense up a bit.
We did some stupid ones.
We done some stupid ones, yeah, but that was, I don't know. But
Can I?
Yeah, go.
I was just going to touch quickly, since none of you have touched on it, for the Eels side. It's an advantage that Adam Elliott, who's been a shining light, one of the buys of the year.
Yeah,
you just stole my thunder.
I stole your thunder there. He's out. Look, Corey Harawira-Naera always seems to have a big game against us, but he is in the lock position as Adam Elliott.
Big red player.
Is Adam Elliott out?
He's got no hair, but it's not Big Red anymore.
He's going to cop it no matter what. Is Adam Elliott out because his missus is a better player, or? Anyway, Matt, go.
Yeah, so wrap the ball up. I think Junior needs to have a big game. I think he was more disappointed because he lost his 200th, so maybe he's jumping on this week. And yeah, I feel like Mitch will play. Dylan's set to have a big game. I feel like last week him and Lane didn't combine as much because after Lane went off with that head knock, it kind of like, I don't know, rattled them a bit on that side, so they didn't go to each other as much. But yeah, I expect, I'm tipping Papali'i to have a big game, the Parramatta one.
Oh, Parramatta, good side.
Parramatta one.
I'm going to put this very simply. It's very simple to say the game needs to be won in our forwards, but I think our halves are above their halves. Jack White on his day, it comes down to a little bit of experience as well. And the Fog, although I love him, he's my brother to another mother. He hasn't got that finals experience that we have. I know not our finals experience is positive, but I think in this big game, look, I'll say it now, I think we're the best place we've been for a finals game, a week 2 finals game. This is the best we've been placed probably since 2009. Because you look at 2017, that game against Melbourne, we gave everything. Whoever lost that game against Melbourne was going to struggle the week after. Against a Cowboys team that did it pretty easily.
Is this the biggest finals game since 2009 prelim final?
Hang on, we'll get to that. But 2019, obviously, week 2, we went to Melbourne after a way too easy win against Brisbane. Obviously, a bit of 58-0, and Melbourne, the media made that no hard for us. Then in 2020, we all know 2020, we got 2 injuries a week before, then lost Michael Jennings to a very well-timed to start a phone call, that morning, and he didn't play it. I still think if Michael Jennings plays that game, we'd probably win. If Mitchell Moses doesn't hit the post, we'd probably win. I don't know who else had flashbacks on Friday night when he was taking that kick to put us ahead. But I was sitting in the back and I'm screaming, watch the post! Watch the post! Because I had some mad flashbacks. But I honestly feel back home after a loss where, it was a hard loss, but we didn't have to exert ourselves too much. It wasn't 80 minutes of belting the crap out of each other. Watching every other game across the weekend, the contact and the aggression wasn't there. Like, obviously, it wasn't the Roosters South game, but the other 2 games, so most importantly, Canberra Melbourne game, it wasn't there as much. The quality of matches were nowhere near as good. Cowboys Cronulla, there was no defense, really. It was a phenomenal game to watch as a neutral, even though I wasn't neutral because I didn't really want to go to Townsville. I was sitting there supporting Cronulla, but I was thinking to myself, this game, we'd beat both these teams tonight because defensively we'd stop them. If they turned up on that day with their defence, we'd beat both of them. So, look, and I thought the same with the Canberra Melbourne. I thought we can beat either of these teams they turn up. Canberra will be up for it. Ricky will have them up for it. He's a myth of a coach, but he's an experienced coach. He will have his team up for this. And, look, I know Parra fans will be looking to give it to him, so I can't wait. But let's just hope we get those moments. If no one else got anything to add, we'll get on to our bowl prediction. Do you want to go last week's first? Have you got it in front of you, Matt?
Yes, so we got score prediction. Adam, 32-10.
Brah.
Troy, 18-14.
Brah.
Aiden, 20-16.
Brah.
And me, 38-6.
So Troy gets the points somehow.
Adam had Wonga Blake. Troy had Will Penasini. Hayden had Sivo, and I had Moses. So none of us got that because Big Oregon crashed over.
Thank you, guys. Right, look, I feel like Wonga had a try assist for the first one. Can I have a point?
Bowl predictions. Parra to score under 8 minutes and 3 tries in the first half. Adam? No.
Hang on. I said try to be scored under 8 minutes and Parra to score 3 tries. Was there a try under 8 minutes?
No.
No.
When did they score?
About 14, didn't it?
We scored right
right.
near half
Time
time.
goes so quick at those games, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, go on.
Troy Reed to kick a 40-20 and Parra leads to a try. I had Guffer hat-trick, but Hayden had both teams to have players get put on report. So tick, but he had Sivo and Crichton to score as his second. But we saw
close. They both got held up over the line and knocked it on.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on this week's poll predictions. I'm going first.
Wasn't it quite ironic that Taylor May got a 1 week suspension?
Oh,
He did, but also...
Is he going to serve that this year or next year?
Well, I'm surprised he didn't ask for his 10 minutes to be served next week or next year. So, but anyway.
Plus, he's also injured as well. Wow.
Yeah, he's injured his hemi. Karma's a funny word. But anyway, he shouldn't have been playing. So let's move on. Bold predictions this week. I'm going first. I reckon we'll win comfortable. 34-6, Parra.
like that.
Yeah, first try scorer, Dill Bags, and a Sivo hat trick. Who's up? Who wants it? Who wants some of this?
Troy wants me to go. All right. I'm going to change my first try scorer to what I said on YouTube. Just today, I've mentioned his name. I think he's going to be out for a big game. So
I watched that, actually.
Pick and stick, mate.
No, I didn't.
No. My money's on him. I'm going Isaiah Papali'i. I think he's been quiet the last few weeks. I know Matty was probably going to take him as well because he said he was up for a big game. But if Tom Opacek scores, I'll be pretty grumpy because I did pick Tom first try on YouTube. But you know what? I'm going with Isaiah. I reckon he's due a big game. I think we'll win this well. I'm like Adam. I guess that confidence of getting our trip to Townsville, getting our money's worth. But at the same time, he mentioned the defense, and the defense against the Storm was really, really good. So, and as I mentioned, that possession, if we turn that into attack, then we're going to cause problems all over the park. So I'm going to go with the scoreline of 28 points to 10. I am going to back Parramatta with 13 plus by more than 14 for once, for all you who like to make fun of that.
Mathematicians out there.
As for a bold prediction, I guess you can come back to me if this is not too bold, but I'll go with a trifecta without try scorers. I'll go, and I have to get all three right to get the point. I'll go Sivo anytime. Mitchell Moses.
Very bold.
No, let me finish, Troy. Mitchell Moses to record 2 try assists, and Sean Lane over 100 run meters.
I didn't know we were doing combos, but all right. Let's go, Troy.
Well, let's do a combo this week for the bold prediction. You can't bet on it, guys, but yeah, I'll go combo.
Oh, well. Okay, here we go. Maybe I should go a score prediction like our good mate Olin Tekker's 7+ maybe, or I don't know. I don't know. But I won't go 7+. Look, probably will be 7+, but anyway, I'm doing a Hayden now. Anyway, it'll be it'll be look, I'm going to go 22-14 again. Same score as the game against Melbourne. And I'm going to go Sean Lane, first try scorer. And bold prediction, well, I could have said that Sivo anytime try scorer. That's pretty bold, but not really. Bold
Was
prediction.
that a little shot at Hayden there? Was that a little shot
No,
at Hayden?
not at all. No, we're friends
Yeah.
here. We're
Yeah.
friends here. Look, I'll go bold prediction. I'll go a Penasini double. There you go.
Oh,
You're back on
throw,
him. You love him again.
yeah, throw that one back out there. And it's the first time that Parramatta and Canberra have played in a finals game as well. Little note there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Matt's back on the 12s this week, I'm telling you.
Matt, yeah, I reckon he is.
all right. So I got 26-12. Knew it straight away. Picked me straight away. I got Papali, but I might change it to Opacek just to swap it up with things. So I'm going to go Opacek. I'll just cross Papali out and put Opacek now.
This will be pretty
Hayden-
fun.
Hayden's going to get the shits if it gets up. And my bold prediction, here it is. Nathan Brown to play and to score a try.
No.
Ooh, any inside information, Matty? Or
I might have had a few spies out at captain's run today, but
Ooh.
I'm just going to say it. Brown
Do
to
you know-
play.
Do you know which
And
number
score a
comes
try.
out, Matty?
Huh?
You know which number comes out of the team? Number 14, is it? You mentioned him a few times, so I don't know. You might be talking about Makatoa coming out for Brown. You've let that one slip, I think.
I'm not going to say who's coming out, but I'm just going to say Nathan Brown to play, fingers crossed, and he'll score a try.
Okay. Righto. He'll score a try. Wonderful. All right. Well, that's all we've got time for.
2 an hour before kickoff when he's not named. And
Yeah.
and then your bold predictions just shot.
that's out the
Yeah,
window.
but that is a risk. That's almost as risky as booking flights to Townsville.
That's why it's called a ball.
So, look, let's all get out the game. I think the Canberra fans will turn up. They've got a pretty good bandwagon. They'll turn up in numbers.
Let's
get
not hear
there.
the Viking clap, eh?
Yeah, look,
Unless
it's one of the things I want to touch on. Like, obviously, there'll be a parachant when they do the Viking clap, but I wish we had something better to counteract it. Just something better. Just turn our backs and just say nothing, let it go. Just show them the ultimate respect when they run out.
What
But
is it? The Wanderers used to do that.
Poznan,
Right.
yeah, no, not that. We're not doing that. But it's just an ultimate sign of disrespect to turn your back when a team runs out in some football cultures. But it won't happen. The Parachan will get up and the Viking clap. But shut them up early. It's always fun being a travelling away fans. We've always had those moments of enjoyment as well. But it is our jungle. There on Friday night. It's definitely our jungle. And it's
We're
time
not
to
playing the Tigers.
Yeah, I know, but it's our jungle. We've claimed it. And it's time to get there and obviously get the boys home for a well-earned and much-deserved and long-awaited trip to week 3 of the finals.
Let's do it.
What?
Let's get a big crowd out there on Friday night. Thanks, everyone.
It's 29,000 plus. Go
Well,
Parra.
sold out. So, yeah, pretty much. That's going to happen.
Go Parra.